Hey friend, I'm Brandon Gustafson. I help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. In today's video, we're going to be talking about, does your home need to be wheelchair accessible to be an assisted living facility? If you're interested in that, make sure you stick around for today's video. Hey, before we get started, I want to remind you to get over to the website, assistedlivinginvesting.net. You can get access to our free underwriting calculator, which is a tool that I created to help you understand if you've got a good opportunity in front of you or not. So go and grab that. We'll have links down below. Now let's get into today's video. Do you need a home that is wheelchair accessible for your assisted living facility? It's a great question, and something you kind of want to be aware of as you're looking at homes and trying to figure out, is this the right property for an assisted living facility? So let's chat about that. First off, let's understand what it means to be wheelchair accessible. I think a lot of people hear that and they think, it's got to have a doorway that's wide enough, but ends there, like no stairs basically, right? And that's not everything that goes into it. There's actually quite a bit. So you need to have a doorway that is wide enough. Typically it's going to be wider than a standard doorway. Hallways may need to be wider as well. You need to not have stairs. You need to either have a ramp that goes up to it, and that ramp needs to have a certain ratio for its slope as well. So you need to get familiar with what that looks like. You're going to have sinks in the toilets that are in the bathrooms that are wheelchair accessible, meaning they don't have anything underneath them. So you can wheel up underneath the sink. So no cupboards, basically. Grab bars in bathrooms. Potentially, if you have stairs in the home, you might need to get a lift or something along those lines to help out with that. There's just kind of a lot that goes into being wheelchair accessible that you don't think about. I don't claim to know all of the rules. I just gave you 5 or 6 things. I'm sure I missed dozens of other ones that you need to be aware of. The best way to kind of figure that out is, we've talked about this a lot, is you start off with city planning because you want to make sure the house is zoned correctly, but then you're going to have the fire department come out and they're going to do an inspection. And one of the big things that they are inspecting is for wheelchair accessibility. Now there's different classifications of the types of homes that offer assisted living. So in a classification 1 facility, and we talked about this actually in our fire suppression video, so we'll link that up above, but a classification 1 facility means in the event of a fire, residents can leave the building by themselves. In a classification 2, they need assistance. And so you kind of have to gauge what that's going to mean for you in being wheelchair accessible. And there's a lot that kind of goes into that. So you just kind of want to understand what that looks like. The fire department and their inspection and subsequent approval is what's going to allow you to determine if it needs to be wheelchair accessible and how or what you need to do to get it to be wheelchair accessible inside of the home. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the options that you have. So once you've kind of gathered that information, you know what wheelchair accessibility is, I want to talk to you a little bit about 2 options that you have at its core, 2 options to getting started with your assisted living business. Now, the first one is buying an existing facility. When you buy an existing facility, you get grandfathered into old rules. And I've done a video that really hasn't done very well on the channel. So you should probably go watch it so it just does a little bit better. So I'm going to link that up above for you. But what does it mean to be grandfathered in? So when you buy an existing facility, you get grandfathered into some of the rules and regulations that were in place at that time. And that could be things around wheelchair accessibility. You're probably still going to have to come up to certain standards and things like that, but you don't have to follow all of the most current rules, which can be a benefit to you. So buying an existing facility can really be beneficial. Make sure you consider that as you get started. And then when you buy an existing facility, you still want to have those approvals, still have the conversation with the fire department, make sure you're in compliance with the understanding that you're going to get grandfathered into some of those rules. Now, the other option that you look at is converting a home. That could be buying a home or leasing a home, regardless of which route you go. That's something you would take into consideration. So when you go that route, like we talked about, you need to get the city planning approval from zoning to make sure that it's in place, and then have the fire department come out and do their inspections. They're going to come in, they're going to give you a punch list of these are the things you need to improve. You need to have a fire extinguisher here, the sink needs to be raised up here, doorways need to be widened here. They're going to tell you all those things that need to happen, whether you're renting or owning the home, and those things need to be implemented and corrected prior to you receiving the approval from the state, from the fire department, so you can get your license in place. So it's something you want to make sure you're going through those steps in sequence so that nothing falls through the cracks as you get things up and running. And like I mentioned, some of that's going to depend on the level of care that you're providing to your residents. Regardless, though, it's probably a good idea for you to consider making some of those changes to be wheelchair accessible inside of the home. It adds some extra value to the home, to the property, when you eventually look to sell it, which is good. And then you're just kind of in compliance and you don't have to worry about them changing a rule in 5 years that says now you have to redo all of the things. So it's probably worth it to spend some time getting things up and running and getting things in compliance the best that you can within your budgetary constraints. So I hope you found this video helpful. It's kind of a different video. It's something that a lot of people don't think about. But we've been talking about wheelchair accessibility, what it is, and then how you might implement that inside of an existing home that you're buying, an existing business, versus doing something where you're doing a conversion on a home, whether you're buying it or leasing out that property. So that's something you kind of want to just keep in mind as you go through it. If you found this to be helpful, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell as well so you get notified when we put out this content. We do lives on Tuesdays, so make sure you join those. You can jump in and ask questions there in a live setting, or we do our Thursday videos as well, and comment your questions down below so I can kind of help you out through the process and give you some specific feedback and guidance through these videos. It's here to help you. My goal is to help beginners like you launch their assisted living business in the next 12 months. And I can only do that if you're giving me ideas on the things that you need. Not to say I don't have ideas, I've got hundreds of them. I want to get stuff specific to you, the person that's watching this right now. I want to give you what you need. So comment that down below, comment your question, okay? And I want to remind you to get over to the website as well, assistedlivinginvesting.net, to get access to the free resources. Have our free underwriting calculator we chatted about earlier. It's going to help you make a good financial decision. So make sure you go and grab that. Get over and check out the business planning guide as well. It's the thing that's going to give you the base to help you get started and get where you want to go on your assisted living investment journey. So check that out, assistedlivinginvesting.net/BPG. We'll link that down below. And if you need help, need a little bit extra guidance, check out the mastermind program. I love this. I love helping the people that are in there. And you can check that out at assistedlivinginvesting.net/mastermind. Again, we will put links down below for that. And if you aren't sure if it's a good fit for you, sign up for a free strategy session. It's kind of, my way to see if it's a good fit for you. And if it's not, that's cool. You can keep watching the stuff. I'm not going to try to push you into anything. I want to make sure that it's a good fit for you. To sign up for one of those free strategy calls, go to assistedlivinginvesting.net/strategy, and we can get that set up for you as well. And just fill out the application. We'll send you a link and get something on the calendar for you. Really, I love helping people out, love coaching people, and so that's why I've built this brand, built this program, and everything that goes into it. Does residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At assistedlivinginvesting.net, we're here to help you through the process, start to finish, to help you reach the time of financial freedom that you're seeking. I want to thank you for watching and remind you that it doesn't take a lot, just a little bit. Keep going, step by step by step. I promise you that if you do, and you're consistent and persistent, you're going to be successful. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.